Hi, everybody. Hello. This is Michelle Ambergy. How are you all doing? Hey, you know what? I wanted to pop on really quick um, and do a little tutorial on how to work with your guides and angels. I did a guide and angel connection class on Zoom a couple of weeks ago, and it was wonderful. It was so great getting to work with people and teach them how to connect with guides and angels. I have this wonderful process that I pulled from a lot of different sources and created my own little thing, and it's so wonderful. And this is just a little bit of a follow up on this, on things that you can do to actually work with your guides and angels once you find out who they are. So, one of the very most important things that need to be done is it's so important for you to adopt a regular prayer and meditation practice for your life in general. And prayer doesn't have to be a big prolonged thing. It can basically be dear God or dear Jesus or dear tree or dear, whatever your higher self is, dear higher self. And just say, please be with me today. Show me what I need to know. Help me to do what I need to do. Bring the people, places, and things to me that will be beneficial to me, and help me to take action that's appropriate and effective. That's a prayer. That's a prayer. I do a little bit more of a drawn out prayer, and I'm actually going to do a separate YouTube on the prayer that I do so that you can listen to that if you want to adopt something like that. The prayer that I do calls in all the beings that I work with. So it's angels and all of the angelic realms. It's the ascended masters. It's my personal life guides, my guardian angels, my master guides. I call in Christ consciousness, and I call in the mighty I am presence. And then I also call in spiritual hierarchy. I call in the Melchizedekian Brotherhood Sisterhood of Light. Sometimes I'll call in the star families of light, the dolphins and whales. I work with a lot of different realms. Our star families that are starting to be a lot more, people are starting to notice them a lot more. And so there's a lot of things. So I invite everybody in. So that's what I do with my prayer. And then the other thing that's so important is learning to meditate a little bit every day. And it can be something as simple as just sitting quietly and listening to the world around you. It can be a guided meditation, which I do happen to have a free guided meditation on my website, which is michelleambergy.com. And let's see, what else can you do? You can take a meditation class. There's transcendental meditation, which is amazing. There's, meditations help cleanse and clear your chakras. There's journey meditation. There's sitting quietly, listening to beautiful music. There's a lot of different ways to meditate. But ultimately, all of these guided meditations and that kind of stuff, it's all leading you to a point to where you can be in quiet. And it's in that quiet that you can begin to listen to spirit. You can begin to hear. And I say like this, I say listen because we think of listening with the ears. But when you're working with your guides and angels, you're going to be listening with your heart. You're going to be listening with your belly. For those of you that are empaths, you're going to listen with your body. Your body will respond. You'll be able to feel when your guides and angels are near. When you start working with them, you begin to feel if something is a yes answer, you'll feel kind of like, oh, uplifted. Or if it's a no, it's kind of like, or it's just flat. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So what I always tell my students, and what I'm going to share with you today, is start a prayer and meditation on a daily basis. That is tantamount, because you're training yourself to call them in and to listen to what they're saying. Because a lot of people ask, and then they don't do the listening part. Me included. I get busted all the time because I'm like, please help me with this, and please help me with this, and da-da-da-da-da, and off I'm on. Off I'm out, and I'm doing my thing, and I haven't taken the time to listen. And so I have to even remember sometime, and I've been teaching this stuff for 20 years. So in the listening part, so you're going to do your prayer meditation, you're going to invite your guides and angels in, and then you're going to sit down, you're going to listen. But I want to give you a little added thing. Get yourself one of these super fancy spiral notebooks, and do some automatic writing, do some writing, take some notes when you get done from your meditation. Because what happens is when you first start out, it's a little bit jumbled. It doesn't make sense. You're going to doubt what you get, but use this. Get yourself a pretty pen. I always like to use a purple pen. Sometimes I use pencils, but pens seem to be just more permanent. And I just write down free flow of what comes into my mind, what I'm feeling. I'm feeling very agitated right now. With the energy that's flowing, feels like it's flowing, or, oh, I coughed, or, oh, I sneezed. Because a lot of times those are releasing things too, things that need to be released for you to be able to flow this energy. And the other thing too that's really important is to realize that the answers that you get and the information that you get from spirit, from your guides, from your angels, isn't always a beautiful movie all explained. It isn't always like, yes, you may go ahead and blah, 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 blah. That's not how it comes. A lot of times it comes in, like I said, feelings. It'll come in a couple words, and I'll explain that in a second. Flashes. I get a lot of flashes. I get visual flashes, I get words, and then I get feelings in my body. So when I'm doing readings, and many of you that are listening to this know that I'm angelic intuitive. I'm a certified psychic medium. So I do psychic work, I do mediumship work, I speak with deceased ones on the other side. Luckily, they speak back, and so we can communicate. And then I work with the angelic realms, ascended masters realms, the star realms. And it's so important to understand that it isn't all explained. You have to learn the language of your psychic intuitive abilities. And a lot of people go into doing this work after seeing John Edwards or the Long Island Medium or somebody else that they've seen that is a finely tuned and trained tool for spirit. And right out of the gate, they're not getting messages and getting everything. It takes a while. You have to learn your language. You have to learn how to interpret what is coming to you. And it takes patience and it takes consistency, but it's not going to take you years. If you were to sit down and you're making a commitment to yourself for 30 days, you're going to pray and meditate and communicate with your guides and angels and write in your angel book. Call this your angel book, or call this your guide and angel book, or your dream book, or your vision book, or whatever you want this to be for you, and start writing it down. You will be amazed at how quickly you progress. And when you get done with those 30 days and you look back at what you're writing at the beginning, you'll be like, oh my gosh. And so I am giving you a 30-day challenge to get out there and do for 30 days prayer, meditation, and communication with your guides and angels. Another thing that I want to bring up really quick, because I wanted to bring up the hearing. And I talk about this in all of my classes with all of my clients that are interested in this, is that when you hear spirit, some people hear spirit outside, and I've heard spirit speak to me from outside the body, where it's actually a voice, like a human or another being is talking to me. But most of the time, it's in my head, and it's in the back of my head. And I do have to tell you, I struggled for a little bit, thinking, oh my God, I'm crazy because I'm hearing voices in my head. And they were not my voice. And so I'm ever so grateful that I learned about being psychic and all that, and understanding that there's other mechanisms at play, because I probably could have gone down the cuckoo trail if I had wanted to. But it's their voices in my head. I know the difference between the voice of Archangel Michael and my guide, like one of my guides, one of my guardian angels. I know the difference between the voice of Jesus and the voice of a redwood tree that I work with. The redwood tree, his voice is like a rumble in my body. And not unlike, if any of you are Lord of the Rings geeks like I am, the Ents, the big trees, and how they talk really deep, and it's just, you feel it in your body. That's how the redwood tree communicates. Also, with spirit guides and with angels, a lot of times what they're communicating with us can't be put in words, and especially English, because English is kind of a dead language. Those of you that are operating in languages that are alive, such as Hebrew, the Latin languages, French, Spanish, Italian, there's a lot more life. There's a lot more meaning behind a lot of the Arabic languages. There's meaning behind the words. The words have life. They have presence. They have essence. And there's more to it. A lot of times, ooh, I'm getting total chills. A lot of times you get a richer reading through those channels and through those languages. But English, kind of a dead language, a lot of times the concepts will be put into your energy field and will then work its way through your energy fields, through your chakras, through your mind and your brain, because your brain is separate from your mind. Okay, the brain is the physical, the mind is the activity. And so it might take a while for it to process through. But again, the more you practice, the more you're consistent with doing it. If you really want to do this seriously, take some classes on spiritual development, on psychic development. After the first of the year, I'm going to be starting some more classes up on that too. And it's so important that if you really want to do this, to learn and to practice and to understand that everybody's different. Everybody gets information different. Everybody gets different information. I have sat in groups of 20 psychics, and every single one of those people gets something different. They get it in a different way. They feel it. They communicate it different. They receive it different. And so take that into consideration when you're speaking with your guides and angels. Don't try to do it like somebody else did. Don't try to do what you think it's supposed to be. Experience it. Sit with it. Be in the energy. Let your guides inform you. Because another thing we learned, and especially in the guide and angel communication class, is you don't reach out for the information. You don't try to send it's like, is that a yes? Is that a yes? No, what you do is you sit very quietly, you do your prayer, meditation, you invite them in, you sit in quiet, maybe you do a little meditation, maybe a little guided meditation, maybe a little cleansing and clearing your chakras. Get yourself into a peaceful space. And then say, dear, one of the guides that I love to work with is Jesus. And so, matter of fact, I was going to say Saint Germain, and Jesus popped in, like, Jesus. And I was asking, dear Jesus, please be with me and tell me what I need to know right now. Or if I have particular questions, I'll ask him. And I'm not going to reach out for the answers. I'm going to let him come to me. I'm going to let his energy come to me. I'm going to let myself feel. And if it takes a while for it to come to me, I'll just take a minute, breathe a little bit, some deep breathing, check on my relaxation state. A lot of times it's easy to get tensed up. When you get tensed up, vibration kind of goes down because you're in fear. And so you just relax again. Vibration goes up. You just open up. Just be, I tell people, be like a big satellite dish. Just be a big satellite dish. Satellite dishes aren't reaching out and grabbing. They're receiving. They're set up. I'm receiving. And then stuff comes. So allow yourself to sit quietly and just receive. And you'll find that when you practice that, when you allow yourself to just do it and to be that receiver, it becomes very easy. You begin to get very accurate. I do a lot of readings for people. Been doing it for a very long time. I do readings on my Facebook group, Soulful Living Tribe, and I do readings on my Facebook page, Angelic Intuitive Michelle Ambergy. And I do these mini readings, the live readings. There's a lot of energy, coming at me, and people trying to get information. And what I do is I set myself aside kind of and just become a conduit, and I just let the energy drop in, right? And that's how I can be as accurate as I am, especially in a rapid fire kind of a situation like that, because I'm not trying to reach it. I'm not trying to get an answer. I'm letting it drop in, and whatever drops in, I give it to them and I move on. And it's really important to learn to do that when you're doing it for yourself. I got what I got. I might not understand it. It might not make sense. It might not be what I want to hear. And when you first start out, it's like you take everything with a little grain of salt too, because you may also have some shadow at play. You may also have ego at play. Your ego is like, whoa, what are you doing? Oh, no, no, this is bad. Oh, no, no. So you want to learn your language. You want to learn the difference between when you're opening to spirit and when ego's stepping in. And I can tell you right now, anytime you get a message that makes you feel, oh, that's not from spirit. Messages from spirit will always be, oh, okay. Ooh, that okay. It might not be what you want. It might not be what you want to hear, but it will always be like, oh, okay. Because it's from spirit. Sometimes we do need to hear things, that maybe we don't like. I set very strong protocols where I don't predict death. I don't deal with death, even though I'm a medium. Once they've crossed over, and I've even helped people cross over, but I don't work in that because it's a very private, intimate thing between an individual and God, their higher self and God, and it's not my thing. And so anytime I have people ask those questions or anything, it's like everything just goes bonk. It's like, no, that is not for me to do. Some people do. It's not for me to do. And so I listen to that. And I have people who come and ask about that for very specific reasons. They have loved ones that are suffering and been suffering for years. But it's like, I don't want to do that work. And I've asked that. And so you can do that too. It's like, I don't want to delve into these particular parts. And spirit will honor that because you are doing very sacred work. And that's another thing that's so important is even if you're working with your guides and angels, just with you are really in that presence. It's real and it's very sacred. And that you have chosen to sit down, stand up, lay down, and reach into those unseen realms and expand yourself into the greater shows at a level of consciousness and love for self and ability that the universe will truly recognize. And it is very, very sacred. It's holy. And give yourself credit for that. Even if you're just working for yourself. We're taught in our culture, and again, I'm American. I'm in the United States. I'm in California, which is like the self-centered state of anywhere. But we're still not told to focus on our self, to be for self-help. We focus on ourselves that we look good, that we have the right car and the right education and the right house and buy the right organic foods and have the right phone, have the right computer. All the stuff is meaningless. But we're not taught to take care of ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to give to ourselves, to do for ourselves. And when you start working with your guides and angels, sometimes those patterns are still there. And so you got to work through those too. But open up and do it. It is so rewarding. It's so exciting. Another thing that I tell people too that's fun is like when I hop in the car, I got to go run errands. I invite all my guides and angels with me. Luckily, I have a fairly big car. So I'm like, hop in. They don't take up a lot of room. So pop them all in. And I'll even do things like, hey, everybody seatbelt on. Everybody ready? Roll up that window. No smoking in the car. I'll be silly and invite them to go with me. And it's interesting because a lot of times when I really consciously do that, when I'm really like, yeah, I want my gang with me, like fun, miraculous things happen. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Treat them like they're your friend, like they're your best buddy and they go with you everywhere. Keep them in mind. You can do things too where you play with like the cards, like oracle cards. And I don't really do tarot, even though the cards I use are called tarot, because to me they're too complicated. I'm kind of lazy. I love the oracle cards and I'm a direct channel. But as you work with your guides and angels, you can find out what tools work with you too and what don't. And maybe you are just going to be a direct channel. That's the easiest way to do it. That really is the easy way. It's like, what is blah, blah? Boom, there's your answer. But it takes training. And again, like I said, I'm good at what I do. Am I the best? No, that's not my goal. I'm not in competition with other people. What I am is to be the best me that I can be so that I can help you. And that's a great place to come from. And I recommend that you adopt that too, because there's plenty of need for us. And the guides and angels are so excited to be communicating with you. You know, they want to be here, they want to be helping, but there are spiritual laws, and one of them is we have free will, and until we ask for it, we can't get it. And a lot of us are asking mentally and emotionally for things that we don't even want. So when you start working with guides and angels, you start beginning to get very clear on who you are, and you begin to communicate with these spiritual realms that are here to help you. And it's life-changing. It's life-changing. So I just wanted to do that. I wanted to give you some suggestions on how to work with your guides and angels. And I really hope that you guys do it. And also, I think you could put comments. Let me know how it's worked for you as well. Let me know how you feel about it, what you're doing. I love to hear. And only positive comments, because we only work in the positive and in the love vibe. So many blessings to you guys. I'm Michelle Ambergy. You can find out more about me on my website at michelleambergy.com, and come over and visit Facebook, Soulful Living Tribe. And my Facebook page is Angelic Intuitive Michelle Ambergy. And I do free readings, free mini readings on both of those sites, once on each one, on those pages and those groups every week. Every week, so you get free little mini readings if you have a question or something you want to address or whatever. So I hope you all have a great day. Love being here. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know. And we'll see you soon.